Hello, let me pull up my presentation. So hopefully that's showing on YouTube. This is my first time doing this on YouTube and not video thread. So it'll be, my name's Emily Freihammer, and I'm doing my final presentation for MM3205 for Manufacturing Operations Management. And I will present a quick presentation on a summary of my cards that I made, some specific challenges that I saw, some lessons learned, and some conclusions as shown on this contents card slide. Let me go back real quick. So the first thing we'll talk about is just a quick overview of the card. I know no need to go into all the details, but what you can see for the card is that it is somewhat simple. We use 3 stamping operations, 2 cutting operations, and then 6 stickers for the card. What I learned with this is I had very high hopes for myself. I was going to add a ribbon and hot glue gun, all sorts of different components, and at the end of the day, stickers looked nicer and worked nicer, so proved to be a better manufacturing process. So with that overview of the card, I'll move on to the challenges of of making the card. One major challenge is just the amount of options that were out there and available for this stamping book and catalog. This whole industry is incredible. I attached a picture that is a picture of the amount of glue guns that are available for purchase at Hobby Lobby. So just to give you an idea, I had no idea there were that many different varieties and different types of options that you could get. So it was a little overwhelming trying to narrow it down into one card when there's so many things to choose from, so many ideas, and at the beginning you get very, very ambitious that, oh, yep, like I mentioned, I'm going to tie ribbons and attach bells, and at the end of the day, it was just easier to use stickers. So the second thing is I have a couple good friends that make their own cards, and their cards are always gorgeous, and they make it look so easy. So I'd love to actually watch them make a card to see if it's truly as easy as they make it look, or if they spend time, lots and lots of time going into that card. So those 2 are kind of the main options. And I guess another one that I don't have wrote down here is just my lack of of creativity and no artistic bone in my body at all. So just trying to overcome that. But what helped is being able to look at it from a manufacturing process, and then my old process engineering and manufacturing engineering experience kicked in. So anyway, those were the main challenges that I saw. The lessons learned, I touched on this a little bit before, and why hot glue when you have stickers. So like I mentioned, I had purchased bells and these little Christmas trees and all of that, all of these different things to put onto the card. And when I realized with the stickers I had purchased that it met the BOM requirements and it looked just as nice, it really was like, really became a conclusion not to make it more difficult than it needs to be. And then another lesson learned, kind of touching on the same subject, same within manufacturing, is simpler is better. I'm I'm a firm believer of a work smart, not hard. And not so much I mean lazy, but just, if you can accomplish it with 5 steps, do it in 5, not 10. So that's what I learned through this card of, why make it more difficult than it needs to be. We met the basic requirements for the product and for the assignment, so why add more sweat, tears, and possibly burns with a hot glue gun? So, so with that said, here are some of the conclusions that I found through this process. For one, leave it to the pros. I'm going to let my sister-in-law and my friend Katie continue to make their cards and admire them even more than I did already. I've also learned it's still worth it just to buy a card. And some of them are 99 cents, completely worth it. And then, like I talked about in the first slide, really appreciate the talent that people have that do make these, and appreciate their patience and drive to be able to do this in their hobby. So, and then finally relating it to a manufacturing environment, with this card, like anything, if you can do it in 10 steps, do it in 10. Don't add an 11th to get fancy. Don't add, 30 more steps to show off how good of an engineer you are. Simpler is always better. Simpler is easier to fix. Simpler is easy to train. Simpler is easier to troubleshoot. I can't emphasize that enough in the manufacturing world and in this card making operations. So those were my main conclusions for the card. And then finally, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for listening to my first YouTube presentation. But also, Steve, thank you again so much for the class. I really did learn a lot, and I enjoyed your teaching styles, and it would be interesting to maybe someday cross paths professionally, because I can see you're a great, high effective manager. So keep up the good work, keep teaching, especially the young kids in college. Your practical real world approach is much needed in the workforce. So awesome job. Thank you so much.